For more than 2 centuries, Americans have chased the perfect whiskey, knocking back millions of cases a year in search of that one bottle that delivers true satisfaction. Yet the reality is harsh. Most whiskeys on shelves are little more than grain alcohol wearing brown coloring, with flavors sharp enough to strip varnish. But hidden among them are bottles of genuine craft, smooth, complex, and worth every sip. Today, we're ranking 15 whiskey brands from bottom-shelf disasters to legitimate liquid gold. Serum 7 kicks things off, a post-prohibition budget whiskey designed for working families wanting legal booze without going broke. The problem? It tastes like brown sugar dissolved in grain alcohol, with a flavor so faint it barely qualifies as whiskey. Reviewers call it mixer only, which is devastating for something pretending to stand on its own. Next up is Red Label, the world's best-selling Scotch, strutting confidently on the strength of its branding rather than its liquid. Promising smoky complexity, but delivering grain burn mixed with pepper and artificial flavoring, Red Label is the poster child for corporate whiskey succeeding through dominance rather than excellence. Jim Beam continues the theme, 7 generations of Kentucky heritage, producing bourbon so flat it makes you wonder if the family lost their taste buds somewhere along the timeline. Vanilla and oak notes show up with minimal enthusiasm, and the entire experience feels watered down both literally and spiritually. Evan Williams, often praised as the best bourbon under $15, only shines when judged against bottom-of-the-barrel competition. It delivers more than expected, but still falls short of truly good whiskey. Being the best of the worst is still a low bar, proving that exceeding terrible expectations doesn't equal quality. Jack Daniel's, on the other hand, is less a whiskey and more a cultural symbol. The square bottle, the rebellious branding, the rock and roll identity, all iconic. But the liquid itself is sweet, simple, and forgettable. Great for a Jack and Coke, but not for anyone seeking depth. It sells attitude better than it sells flavor. Bullet, with its frontier aesthetic and 1830s recipe stories, leans heavily on craft mythology. In reality, it's mass-produced by corporate giants. The high rye mash bill brings spice, but often feels harsh rather than complex, proving that bold doesn't always mean good. Crown Royal enters smoother territory. Originally crafted in 1939 for royalty, and later embraced by Americans who wanted sophistication without intimidation. Its dessert-like sweetness and polite silky character make it pleasant, but also forgettable. Whiskey so smooth it seems afraid to leave an impression. Glenfiddich 12 follows as the gateway single malt that introduced America to Scotch, not blended into oblivion. Crisp apple, pear, malt, and subtle oak make it perfectly balanced, but also limited. A great introduction, yet far from the pinnacle of single malt brilliance. And now the pretenders are behind us. The next bottles prove why whiskey became America's favorite spirit. Knob Creek arrives with unapologetic 100 proof intensity, embracing old-school flavor in an industry obsessed with smoothness. Toasted oak, caramel, nutty sweetness, and a warm, earned finish make this a bourbon with backbone, reminding drinkers that whiskey should actually taste like whiskey. Woodford Reserve continues the quality climb, polished and sophisticated without being pretentious. Orange peel, cocoa, caramel, and roasted oak create a deep layered profile carried by a silky mouthfeel and long finish. Premium pricing finally backed by premium liquid. Four Roses, the quiet genius of bourbon, perfects the science behind the art approach with 10 distinct recipes and 2 mash bills. The result is floral rye, honey sweetness, balanced warmth, and a clean finish that showcases actual distillation skill, craftsmanship winning over marketing hype. Wild Turkey 101 stands proudly at 101 proof, refusing to apologize for flavor. Cherry, spice, caramel, and oak hit with power and authenticity. This is whiskey that doesn't care about trends or smoothness scores. It simply delivers the bold bourbon experience its fans expect. Jameson enters as the king of social whiskey, triple distilled for smoothness that's earned, not diluted. Green apple, vanilla, malt sweetness, and light spice make it approachable, conversational, and crowd-pleasing, proving popularity doesn't always mean compromise. Buffalo Trace rises near the top as the complete package, complex, balanced, accessible, and shockingly affordable for its quality. Brown sugar, caramel, orange peel, oak, and vanilla come together with a creamy texture and long, clean finish. It's the bourbon that built its reputation through word of mouth rather than advertising, and today it's almost too popular for its own good. But number one belongs to Maker's Mark, the red wax legend of wheated bourbon. It delivers everything whiskey should be: complex but welcoming, smooth but not simple, distinctive but affordable. Soft wheat replaces rye, creating round sweetness with caramel, vanilla, baking spices, and a buttery finish that lingers without overstaying. The consistency, the craftsmanship, the attention to detail, every bottle represents a brand that refused shortcuts. Maker's Mark wins not by being rare or expensive, but by being consistently excellent. In a world where whiskey is a battlefield between marketing mythology and actual liquid quality, choose brands that earn loyalty through flavor, tradition, and honesty. Subscribe for more liquid truth and drop a comment with your worst whiskey experience, because your standards should be high and your whiskey should be honest.